Hello class. Today's lecture will be a two-part video series all about Verra. For those of you not yet familiar, Verra is the name of the world in Ashes of Creation. It's also Italian for "it will come." A lot of the topics that we'll cover in this video will be expanded on in future videos. Today we're just exploring various facets of the world itself. To begin, there is one concept that is key to understanding Verra, and that is the idea that the world is reactive. What I mean by this is that Verra will be heavily shaped and influenced by the actions of the players, much like the real world. Decisions made by players about where to group up, where to build, and where to explore will directly impact Verra. Player activity can cause an area to grow from a small ranging party to a densely populated metropolis. Player activity can cause disturbances and natural disasters that will impact the seasons, which will impact harvests, which will impact the entire economy. Players can awaken monsters and start conflicts that will permanently shape the world. Players can even organize to siege and ultimately conquer a city or destroy it. No two servers will have the same history, and this concept is key to understanding Verra. The world is as you make it. Who knows, you could one day lead Verra's first nudist colony. Verra's first nudist colony, copyright twitch.tv/Khasino, 2018, all rights reserved, see colony for details. The following races are not eligible to apply, the Tolmer. I did want to bring up some of the lore. The current lore explains that 8 of the 9 races are returning after fleeing from Verra through divine gateways, as seen here, to escape a mysterious corruption. If you're wondering about the 9th race, they're called the Tolner, and they fled to the Underrealm, which we'll talk about more later in this video. Regarding that mysterious corruption, it is said to have spawned hideous beings of every description, so you can expect, among other horrors, quote, troll-like creatures, and quote, towering behemoths. As previously mentioned, majority of civilization fled to another world or realm, a place we've so far only seen referred to as Sanctus, which you can see in this clip from an Alpha Zero stream. This means we might one day see an alternate dimension or even an entirely different world. That said, I want to be clear that the developers have not confirmed anything of the sort. So let's talk about the map. To start off, the size of the map of Verra will be 480 square kilometers. Technically this is unconfirmed, but the devs have said that it's what they're aiming for and are on track to achieve. To put that in perspective, the map of Skyrim, shown here, is only 37.1 square kilometers. So in short, it's gonna be big. Not only that, but it will be a seamless open world. This means no loading screens or loading time between regions. Even dungeons and raids will be open world. In terms of population, they're expecting around 10,000 concurrent users. In terms of spawns of both mobs and resources, they've said that Verra will not be randomly generated, but starting resource points may vary by server. In addition, you can expect each race to have their own starting zone with a divine gateway, and they've said they are considering letting players choose their starting area independent of race. The map of Verra will be fully realized to include the air, land, sea, and even underground. In addition, there will be gatherable resources throughout the world, like herbs for example, which the devs have said will not highlight or show as a gatherable. This means that you'll have to experiment, and some monsters may hide disguised as gatherables. Now, I realize I just said experiment and herbs, but I don't think the devs mean for you to grow Granddaddy Elven Kush and smoke dank nugs on the daily. But the devs do listen to player feedback, so maybe. Granddaddy Elven Kush, copyright twitch.tv/Khasino, 2018, all rights reserved. See your local Connect for details. Granddaddy Elven Kush is for medical use only. The following races are not eligible to partake. The Tolmer. Now a bit about the various cycles of the world. Naturally, there will be a day-night cycle, with the devs even saying that some mobs and NPCs will be awake or asleep depending on the time of day. They've even confirmed that you will be able to witness an eclipse. There will also be seasonal cycles. These are planned to change on a weekly basis. As for seasons, there will be all 4 typical seasons. However, the devs have said that world events can impact weather occurrences, like devastating winters that last 5 cycles, and volcanoes that erupt and level a city, altering the terrain. There will also be seasonally exclusive events. For example, heavy snow can block a road or obstruct a dungeon entrance. Seasons will affect many things, including crops, which means ultimately the world economy. They've also stated that seasons above ground will affect the Underrealm. Lastly, they expect season transitions to occur during downtime. In short, you can expect to hear plenty of
"Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
And winter is coming.
and I already have a special sound command my stream chat can activate for just that.
Another one.
As promised, we will now discuss the Underrealm, the home of the Tulner, the only race not to have fled Verra, but to have burrowed underground instead. As the Tulner never actually left Verra, their starting zone will not have a Divine Gateway. The Underrealm was unlocked as a stretch goal as part of the Kickstarter for the game. The devs have said the Underrealm will have its own nodes with their own zones of influence, but they will also be affected by occurrences from the nodes above them. For example, there may be more water leaking into the Underrealm if the node above is experiencing heavy snow. The Underrealm will be fully fleshed out, including caravan routes, the ability to siege nodes, the ability to grow to a metropolis, and even areas that flying mounts can navigate. I'd tell you more about the Underrealm, but I don't want it to get too mainstream. You know, right now it's more of an underground community. The last thing we're going to talk about in this video is naval and underwater content. Another stretch goal during the Kickstarter was enhanced naval content, which promised more ship classes and expanded underwater environments. We know that ships will be player-made, like most things in AOC. We also know that you will be able to die from drowning. However, you will be able to breathe underwater by using various items, potions, food, and skills. We know that ships will be destroyable by other players and by creatures. We know there will be waterborne caravans, so we can assume there will be naval trade routes as well. When asked if you would be able to siege a coastal city from the sea, the dev said, quote, "Maybe, it's possible, we're still talking about it, we want to make sure the mechanics blend well." We also know there will be aquatic mounts able to dive deep underwater, and we know there will be those expanded underwater environments, so my guess is that there will be things like shipwrecks and sunken treasure to discover. So that's all for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 of World 101 Intro to Verra, where we're going to talk about regions, nodes and zones of influence, castles, mounts and travel, housing and freeholds, world events, and Easter eggs and exploration. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and fondle that like button, maybe even gently caress the subscribe button. If you didn't enjoy this video, leave a comment below with constructive criticism or with excessive profanity.
Retard idiot!